Hello and welcome to my first ever video on YouTube. Thank you so much for clicking on this video. I really appreciate anyone that's taken time to hang out with me for a little bit today. For my first ever video, I thought I would do the BookTube Newbie Tag. A few people have recommended it to me and I watched loads and I love watching them, so I thought why not do one of my own. So I've got the questions in front of me on my laptop here, so if I'm looking over here, that's why. But first of all, just a little bit of an introduction. My name's Robin, and this is my new BookTube channel. So the first question is, why did you start this channel? There's two main reasons for that. The first one is that I am a massive yapper. I can talk for hours and hours, especially about special interests, and books are one of my special interests. And I think at this point, my friends and my partner are so supportive and so tolerant of me talking about books to them all the time. But I think at this point, it's time to find people that actually care about what I'm talking about. So really, I just want to connect with the community and get to know people who are as excited about books as I am, and maybe either read the same things so that we can talk about them, or read wildly different things so that I can get some ideas for other things that I might like to read that I haven't thought of yet. And the other reason is I've tried keeping a reading journal, but I'm not very good at filling it out. I'm not very good at remembering to write things down right after I've read the book. I'm much better at recording, so sometimes I'll do voice notes to my friends with my thoughts, or like little video clips and things. And I find that much easier. So I'd love to have a sort of video diary of all the things that I'm reading so I can look back and remember how I felt about different books at different times in my life. I think that'd be really fun. Question 2 is, what are some fun and unique things you can bring to BookTube? I think the only thing that anyone can bring to BookTube is their best. So I don't know if I'm going to be fun or unique or even interesting, to be honest, but I'm just going to do my best and I guess we'll find out together. Number 3 is, what are you most excited for about this new channel? So first of all, like I already mentioned, it's getting to connect with other people who are as excited as I am about books and about reading. And also people, who have different backgrounds to me, who read different things, and just being able to expand what I'm reading and the people that I'm speaking to. The other thing is, I used to be a musician. Well, I'm still a musician. Once you're a musician, you're one forever. But I used to be a professional music teacher and musician. And now I work a corporate job, and I'm really grateful to have had the opportunity to do music for a job and to have it still as a creative outlet. But I think it would just be really good to have a second creative outlet that's something a bit different now that so much time is taken up with databases. So the next question is, why do you love reading? I think I love reading because when I don't like real life, I've always got somewhere else to go to escape it and to not think about it. I've had struggles with my mental health for my whole life, really, and in recent years I've had physical health struggles as well, and it can be a lot. I'm sure if you are a person that struggles with mental health or a disabled person, you will know it can be a lot. So it's really nice to have something that you can escape to, and I think reading is that for me, and sort of anything creative really. So reading, and sometimes I love that I can have an audiobook on and I can do a craft at the same time. That's something that really brings me joy. So yeah, just escapism, I think, is the short answer. What book or series got you into reading? I've got 3 answers for this. So when I was a very young child, the very first series that I remember reading was Enid Blyton, but it wasn't the Famous Five. I did read the Famous Five, but the one that really gripped me was a series called The Five Find Outers. I don't know if anyone has read that. It's one that not a lot of people that I speak to have read or heard of, but it was more of a mystery. So Famous Five was more sort of adventure. Five Find Outers was more mystery, and they were focused on solving the mysteries, and that is my first sort of core memory of being really gripped by a book. I absolutely loved it. I've still got all of my copies from when I was a child. Now, maybe I'll do a reread at some point, but I don't want to ruin it. And then as I became older, I think I was about 10 when I read my very first Agatha Christie. And Agatha Christie is my one true love. She is the love of my life. I will reread and reread and reread Agatha Christie for as long as I live. And my grandma really got me into that because we used to watch the Joan Hickson Miss Marples and the obviously David Suchet doing Poirot. And I read the books and I just really, really loved them. And even when I wasn't reading, so I went through a phase where I wasn't reading very much, even then I would have Poirot on audiobook all the time. I love Agatha Christie. And then when I sort of hadn't been reading for a few years and I came back to it, the first book that I read that really got me back into reading was Richard Osman's Thursday Murder Club. So those are the three that really made me a reader, I would say, at different points throughout my life. What questions would you ask your favourite booktubers? Okay, if you are a booktuber and you are watching this for some reason, I would love for you to answer this in the comments or message me or something. But if you were starting again with all the knowledge that you have now, what would you do differently? That's my question. I would love to know. Please let me know. Yeah. What challenge of starting a booktube channel do you think will be the hardest to overcome? So I have ADHD, so I find it quite difficult to start tasks. I've been saying that I was going to start a booktube for probably over a year at this point, and I'm only just now sitting down to actually do it. So executive functioning and also perfectionism combined, I think that's going to be really challenging for me, and I think overcoming that is going to be something that I struggle with when I'm creating videos, but I'm going to try really hard. When did you start reading? I don't remember a time that I wasn't reading. I think I started to read when I was quite young, so sort of picture books and Dr. Seuss and that type of thing. But even before that, my mum and my grandmas would read to me and they'd make up stories with me, and I was always surrounded by stories and imagination and that kind of thing. So I don't remember a time when I didn't read. I went to university for 5 minutes to do English and I hated it. And I didn't read at all and for the period after as well. I didn't read really for probably like 5 years. And then I came back to it sort of a few years ago and I've just never stopped. But other than that one period where I didn't read, I can't remember a time when I wasn't reading. Number 9 is, where do you read? Where don't I read? I will read pretty much anywhere. There's pictures of me reading my Kindle at like gigs or on the metro. I live in Newcastle, so the metro is like a train, if anyone didn't realise. I always have like 3 books on the go at once. So I've got a physical book, a Kindle book, and an audio book. So wherever I am, there's sort of an appropriate way to be reading. And that's how I like it. I always have my Kindle with me, just in case. And then the final question number 10, what kind of books do you like to read? So my first love is crime fiction. So Agatha Christie, Georgette Heyer, like anything like really golden age crime fiction. I absolutely love. That's my first love. But in more recent years, I have been getting really into fantasy. So a lot of my recent favourites have been fantasy reads or romantasy, I suppose, as well. And I've been reading a lot of classics at the moment, and I really love classics as well. There's not a lot that I don't read. The only thing that I struggle with really is contemporary romance, because I find that the stakes are not generally high enough for me, and I just don't care. I'm like, a lot of the time I'm like, oh, come on, just have a conversation. And that annoys me. So that's the only thing that I really struggle with. But I have been thinking about trying some dark romance to see if that's higher stakes and sort of grips me a little bit more. But other than that, yeah, there's not really anything that I don't read. If you have any recommendations for things that I might enjoy romance-wise that's a bit different, that's a bit higher stakes, has a bit more to it, do let me know, because I would love to branch out into that as well. But yeah, so that was the 10th question. That is the BookTube Newbie Tag. Thank you so much if you've stuck with me up to this point. I really appreciate it. Leave me a comment below to let me know that you watched the video, and also let me know what you're reading right now. See you next time.